Hare Krishna. There are actually three types of relationships. One relation is with oneself, one relationship with this other people around us, and third relation with the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So there are three types of relationship one should understand. And accordingly, one will able to develop relation with other. First, one should have relation with oneself properly. That is the training they get in Gurukul under the Guru. And then they get the training of how to deal with others. That also happens in Guru and then with the Supreme Lord. So this is what is the training is for to know ourselves, to develop relationships. People they don't. Yeah, this is very important topic. That how one should we should know properly about ourselves and accordingly try to work on the relationships. One otherwise, no matter how much a person is working, he don't know who he is. He don't have good relation with himself. He cannot forgive only himself. And then there is a question of having relation with others. We need to know that what is our position, who you are. People always insult themselves. I am such a nasty fellow. I didn't do this properly. I didn't do this. All these things are in one way causing trouble to the to one's own self. Should know. It's a very big important discussion we have to do. Maybe in future classes I will discuss on it. But for now we will continue because there are some very important points that are shared by Prabhupada. We will try to discuss on them. Here Prabhupada is talking about wife and husband and wife dynamics. We'll try to hear from Prabhupada what he says. Then I will share in future classes relation with oneself, other, and with others there are different categories with superiors, with equals, with juniors, husband and wife, with devotees. So in that way, we have many varieties with other. And then Supreme Lord and ours is little simple, but when it comes to others, there are different categories we should consider. Okay. Working silently and diligently. Now we see what is Devhut is doing and what is Prabhupada's. Yeah, self-love is not correct. That is selfishness. Now, relationship is different. People are self-conscious. That is not correct. That is selfish. They need to. That is completely different. We will discuss on that. Maybe I will see once this because we are lagging so much in our sessions. I wanted to take because Prabhupada also have very nice things to share. Maybe in between when topic comes, we'll try to take that. Maybe next chapter we can do that. We are hearing how what Prabhupada is comparing devotees' way of working. Anytime, uh, anytime this is yeah, maybe Saturday, Sunday we can do. Yeah, that will be easy. Here are some of the qualities of great husbands, great wife. This we have discussed yesterday. And then further, this is the daughter of Manu, who was fully devoted to her husband, looked upon him as greater even than Providence. And she know he can change my fate. Thus she expected great blessings. Self-care, we can say. Self-care means we nate vidu swarda gatim hi Vishnu. What is Prahlad says that nate vidu swarda gatim. What is our real self-interest is Krishna only. Swarda gatim is if somebody is doing Krishna consciousness, he is the most selfish person because he is doing for the real self. That's why. And we'll see here. I'm just addressing the chat box questions. She is expected great blessings from him. Having served him for a long time, she grew weak and emaciated due to her religious observances. Seeing her condition, Kardama, the foremost of the celestial sages, was overcome with compassion and spoke to her in a voice choked with great love. That is how we can win the heart of a person. We can touch the heart of a person. Problem is na, if somebody is doing so much devotedly service, in this present situation, they are exploited. That is the problem. But Kardamana is very qualified person. Now we'll see what Prabhupada has to say. That has nice points. The wife is expected to be of the same category of as the husband. She must be prepared to follow the principles of husband and then there will be happy life. If the husband is a devotee and wife is materialistic, there cannot be any peace in the home. The wife must see the tendencies of the husband and must be prepared to follow him. From Mahabharata, we learn that when Gandhari understood that her would-be husband Dhritarashtra was blind, she immediately began to practice blindness herself. Thus, she covered her eyes and played the part of a blind woman. Now we can ask the question, why did she choose a husband like that first of all? She could have just protested and said, no, I'm not going to marry this blind fellow. I'll go with somebody else. Why didn't she say? She came to know that, oh, she is going to be married to this person. Then she could have immediately told, okay, forget about it. I'm not going to do anything with this. Uh, I, I don't know what is the reason for her, why she didn't say. Maybe she accepted the destiny or that part of Mahabharata I don't remember. I didn't read in uh, any Mahabharata. Maybe it must be in Ganguly's Mahabharata. I will just check. But why she didn't do? But once she came to know, she practiced blind. Thus she covered her eyes and played the part of a blind woman. She decided that since her husband was blind, she must also act like blind. Otherwise, she would be proud of her eyes and her husband would be seen as inferior. The word Samanvarta indicates that it is a duty of birth to adopt the special circumstances in which the husband is situated. Of course, if the husband is as great as Karda Muni, then a very good result occurs from following him. But even if the husband is not a great devotee like Karda Muni, it is wife's duty. So Prabhupada is telling, even if he is not great, it is wife's duty to adopt herself according to his mentality. Why this is given? Because two reasons. One is it is easy for women to adopt than men. That's why these instructions are given more to women than to men. Man has more ego problem. Woman has little less. It is advantage for her. And if you see any adaptation, woman is more adaptable than man. That's why the instructions are given her. Like if two children are fighting in the house, then mother will say the elder brother to cooperate. And she says, he's small, no, you cooperate. You do what he likes. Why? Because the ability to adopt is better. And in that way, when instructions are given to women, she has that ability to adopt. That's why they are told, you tolerate, you adopt. And like any situation you keep for women, any other places, they are very fast to adopt than men. It is difficult for men. If they are staying in, like that is the reason after staying for so many years in the house, when they have to take Vanaprastha or sannyas, it becomes difficult for the man if he has not practiced. He will be he will be emotionally very attached. As the age progresses, he becomes more and more emotional if he's not reading Shastras nicely or practicing. He gets stuck up in the house. It is difficult for him. That makes marriage life very happy. It is also mentioned herein that by following the strict vows of a chaste woman, Princess Devavati became very skinny, and therefore her husband became compassionate. He knew that she was the daughter of a great king and yet was serving him just like an ordinary woman. She was reduced in health by such activities, and he became compassionate and addressed her as follows. Kardama said, O respectful daughter of Swayambhuvana, today I am very much pleased with you by your great devotion and most excellent loving service. Since the body is so dear to embodied beings, I am astonished that you have neglected your own body to use it on my behalf. Otherwise, it is indicated here that one's body is very dear. Yet Devati was so faithful to her husband that not only did she serve him with great devotion, service, and respect, but she did not even care for her own health. This is called selfless service. We should do it for Guru now. We don't have any, unless we are ready for this, na, we cannot make progress. I should be ready to do service with respect. Of course, we should care for our health. We should not destroy our health, but we should be willing to sacrifice. Sacrifice is where basically sacrificing our enjoyment only. What is the sacrifice? What Devati did it? She sacrificed her enjoyment. That pleased Kardam. When we are doing service to Guru, what pleases Guru is he could have enjoyed so much, but he is giving his time voluntarily to engage in my service. So it touches the Guru's heart. You could have done many things. Now you are sitting and hearing Bhagavad. This time you could have done many things. Now this will please the Guru that okay, this fellow is sitting there hearing the Bhagavatam class. Guru will be pleased. We have sacrificed na, that our pleasure, whatever pleasure, so-called pleasure which we must be enjoying now, we have sacrificed it. And then that is pleasing. Any sacrifice means giving up our own sense gratification. Waking up early morning, we have to sacrifice our very cozy my sleep. And similarly, we have to sacrifice our time, time in the sense which we use for other things. That's all. If somebody is ready to give up his sense gratification, Guru will be very pleased. Yes, chalo, ho gaya. This is selflessness. I am not thinking about my sense gratification. Now I can cook nicely and eat myself. But what I am doing? I am cooking a big feast, calling all the devotees, doing a program, doing kirtan bhajan and feeding everyone. Now that much money I couldn't go to hotel and eat myself. But I am sacrificing my sense gratification to serve and invite devotees and call new people, feed them. That is how we should use. If we are not able to do that, we should assist somebody who is doing it. Then Guru will be pleased. Otherwise, it is not possible that I will enjoy everything myself at the end of life. I am anyway chanting, na. I am chanting and I am enjoying. It won't work like that. Sacrifice should be there. We have to do something for the mission of our Guru. We should dedicate our life for his mission. Dedicate also means that if we are taking care of your deities nicely, serving them, and if you nicely feed them, but distribute that prasadam, you don't eat yourself everything. Then that is also not sacrifice. At least that much we can do. I may not be able to do so much preaching and all. At least give some prasadam to others regularly. That is not very difficult. Feed somebody. And not everything we should make for ourselves. You have to make some items which only for distribution. If you cannot go out and preach, cook something only to distribute to others, Krishna Prasad, like that. But what it indicates, I sacrifice, na. I kept so much time, 2 hours I spent, 2, 3 hours I spent to make this item, offered to Lord, but not for me, for distribution. For Guru's mission, I am doing this service. This 2, 3 hours I spent to cooking and offering or Guru's mission. Somewhere we should distribute prasadam or something. No? Give some charity, help others. If you are not cooking, you are a working man, then give some charity where somebody else is doing service to the Guru's mission, like that. And our focus should be that. how much I am doing for Guru's mission, how much I am giving my hard-earned money and or any time, energy. Unless we completely focus ourselves on Guru's mission, it is not possible to come out of our mental conditions. It will, it will not allow us. We will get stuck only. Very difficult. No matter how much is, he may speak so many things. Of course, he's speaking that is service, but it is not going to work like that. We have to, we have to sacrifice. There should be some dedication. Yes, my guru. This is for my guru. Like acting to facilitate Kardam Muni's engagement in spiritual elevation. So she just did for Kardam Muni. She continually assisted him, not caring for bodily comfort. See, this is the main point. He didn't care for bodily comfort. Not that she didn't take means health to some extent, but we don't want comforts. We will take care of health. We may do yoga and other things to take care. So we'll do service. It is a duty of a faithful and chaste wife to help her husband in every respect, especially when the husband is engaged in Krishna consciousness. In this case, the husband also amply rewarded the wife. This is not to be expected by a woman who is a wife of an ordinary person. So this will not happen to ordinary. Kardamani continued, I have achieved the blessings of Lord in discharging my own religious life of austerity, meditation, and Krishna consciousness. Although you have not yet experienced these achievements, which are free from fear and lamentation, I shall offer them all to you because you are engaged in my service. Now just look at them. I am giving you the transcendental vision to see how nice they are. Now, Prabhupada is giving nice purport. He says, Devati engaged only in the service of Kardamani. She was not supposed to be advanced in austerity, ecstasy, meditation, or Krishna consciousness. But imperceptibly, she was sharing her husband's achievement, which she could neither see nor experience. Automatically, she achieved their grace of this grace of Lord. That means just serving husband, whatever husband did austerity 50% devoti finish. Interestingly, if wife does austerity, husband don't get the credit. But if husband does, wife will get credit. So the formulas are quite interesting. That's why wife should assist husband becoming devotee. If they are devotees, we make sure that they are doing nice devotion. What are graces of the Lord? It is stated here the grace of Lord are abhaya, free from fearlessness. This is very important. What? How do we know we are advancing? We should become more and more fearless. Abhaya charana ravinda bhakti samprata. Abhaya. So we should become more and more fearless as we can know I am progressing or not. In the material world, if someone accumulates $1 million, he is always full of fear because he is always thinking, what if the money is lost? But the benediction of Lord, Bhagavat Prasada is never to be lost. It is simply to be enjoyed. There is no question of loss. One simply gains and enjoys gaining. Bhagavad Gita confirms this. When one achieves the grace of Lord, the result is Sarva Dukha Nam Hani, the destruction of all distresses. The greatest distress now is fear only. Because of fear only, so many things we are doing in this world. Because of fear, we have to eat. Otherwise, I'll become sick. Because of fear, we have to do job. Because we don't know what is the future, insecurity. All these. Once we become Krishna conscious more and more, the fear is reducing. So anxiety is reducing. When situated in transcendental position, one is free from two kinds of material distresses, hankering and lamentation. This is also stated in Bhagavad Gita. After devotional life begins, we can achieve the full results of love of God. Love of Krishna is the highest perfection of Bhagavat Prasada, or divine mercy. Because she served, that's only our hope. We will serve our spiritual master because he has love for Krishna, we'll also get it. Otherwise, there is no chance. This is the formula we should apply. Why we want to give our life to our Guru, dedicate our life? Because he has love for Krishna. We can also get the same benefits like that. After devotional life begins, we can achieve the full result of love of Godhead. Love of Krishna is the highest perfection of Bhagavad Prasad, divine. This transcendental achievement is greatly valuable that no material happiness can compare it to. Radhan Saraswati said that one who achieves the grace of Lord Chaitanya becomes so great that he does not care a fig even for the demigods. He thinks monism is hell. He easily achieves perfection of controlling the senses. He regards description of heavenly pleasure as no more than stories. Tidashapur Akasha Pishpayate. Oh, this is actually there is no comparison between material and spiritual transcendent happiness. Now, this is nice point. By the grace of Kardamuni, Devati experience actual relation simply by serving. For us also the hope is same only. We just have to serve and get it. And serve whom? Guru. We get a similar example in the life of Nardamuni. In his previous life, Nardamuni was a maid servant's son. But his mother was engaged in the service of great devotee. He got the opportunity to serve the devotee simply by eating the remnants of their footsteps and carrying out their orders. He became so elevated that in next life he became great personality Narada. That's all. He served, became. We also have to do same thing with our spiritual. For spiritual achievement, the easiest path is to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and to serve him with heart and soul. That is the secret of success. Shri Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, in his 8 stanzas of prayers to the spiritual master, Isya Prasada Bhagavat Prasado. This is what is. And similarly, Devahuti achieved the same thing. Similarly, a sincere disciple, simply by serving the bona fide spiritual master, can achieve all success. Kardamani continued. What is the use of enjoyments other than Lord's grace? All material achievements are subjected to annihilation. That's to be annihilated simply by movement of the eyebrows of Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By your principles of devotion to your husband, you have achieved and can enjoy transcendental gifts rarely obtained by persons proud of aristocracy and material position. So he is ready to give something very high to all the purports are very huge. Lord Chaitanya recommended that the greatest achievement of human life is to achieve the grace of Lord, love of God. He said, Prema Purmarto, to achieve love of God is the highest perfection of life. The same perfection is recommended by Kardam Muni to his wife. Somebody sending me a message, Happy Krishna Conscious Independence Day. For us, real independence is dependence on Krishna or control of senses. That is our independence. This independence is not for devotees. This is for the country, or the citizens of country. We 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 appreciate. We don't participate. There is a difference in that. You are not neutral. We are not neutral. Even this, all this dharma and other things, protection, fight, freedom for Hindus, fight for Hindus and all. We encourage them. We support them. We can represent from our side, but don't everybody part. We should not actively participate in our social media. We can represent. Say if somebody is fighting, like ISKCON, something is happening in ISKCON for Bangladesh and all, and somebody is making protest. We also go support them. We also do it. We support, but for ourselves, we should be clear. We should not be the social media sharing and all. That is not our job. Why we have to support them? Because when we need, they will also support us. That much only we sometimes we also need support to. There will be some road expansions, and they will want to demolish some part of our temple or some area they want to take. Then we'll need these people to help us. That's why we also help. It's a mutual. But more important, it's not our business. We want to take help of them. They will also get some sukriti serving Krishna. And Prabhupada says she served her husband, who was a great devotee and saintly person, with great sincerity, love, affection, and service. Kardamuni was satisfied He willingly gave love of God, and he recommended that she accept it and enjoy it because she has already achieved it. Love of God is not an ordinary commodity. Lord Chaitanya was worshipped by Rupa Goswami because he distributed Krishna Prema. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. One word used in this verse, Nija Dharma Dana, is very significant. Devahuti, as a wife of Kardamana, achieved an invaluable gift from her husband because she was very faithful to him. For a woman, the first principle of religion is to be faithful to her husband. If fortunately her husband is great personality, then the combination is perfect and the life of both wife and husband are at once fulfilled. Upon hearing the speaking of her husband, who excelled in knowledge and all kinds of transcendental science, innocent Devahuti was very satisfied, her smiling face shining with a slightly bashful glance. He spoke in a choked voice because of great humility and love. Prabhupada knows so much science on this. He says, it is said that if one is already engaged in Krishna consciousness and is rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord, then uh, it can be supposed that he has finished all the recommended courses of austerity, penance, religious sacrifice, mystic yoga, and meditation. Devati's husband was so expert in transcendental science that there was nothing for him to argue about. And when he heard him speak, she was confident that since he was very much advanced in devotional service, he has already surpassed all transcendental educational activities. She has no doubt about the gift offered by her husband. That means she know it's safe, whatever I get from him. She knew that he was expert in offering such gifts, and when she understood that he was offering the great gift, she was very satisfied. She was overwhelmed with ecstatic love, and therefore she could not reply. Then, with flattering language, just like a attractive wife, she spoke as follows. Devati says, my dear husband, O best of the Brahmanas, I know that you have achieved perfection and are master of all infallible mystic powers because you are under the protection of Yoga Maya, the transcendental nature. But you once made a promise that our bodily union should now fulfill, since children are great quality for a chaste woman who has glorious husband. A very chaste woman, she always have this expectation that there should be children. So this is the natural tendency, uh, psychophysical nature, and that's actually the tendency for women. They are born like it cannot be stopped. If they don't want, then there is a problem. They need to have this. Not a problem. Basically, uh, they cannot be completely satisfied. Satisfaction comes because they have the nature to care. Women want care. Even want to give care. Even want somebody to accept their love and care. And if they have children, and they'll be very happy. Devati expressed her happiness by uttering the word Bata. For she knew that her husband was a highly elevated transcendental position and was under the shelter of Yogamaya, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Kardaman is a great soul, and therefore he was under the spiritual energy, which means that he was directly connected to Supreme Lord. This was known to Devati, yet she was anxious to have a son by bodily union with the sage. She reminded her husband of his promise to her parents. And she is telling, I will remain only until the time of Devata's birth. She reminded him that for a chaste woman to have a child by a great personality is most glorious. That means she wanted to pregnant, she prayed for that. The word three means expansion. By bodily union of husband and wife, their qualities are expanded. Children born of good parents are expansions of the parents' personal qualifications. Both Kardamuni and Devati were spiritually enlightened. Therefore, she desired from the beginning that first she be pregnant and then she be empowered with the achievement of God's grace and love of God. For women, it is a great ambition to have a son of the same quality as a highly qualified husband. Since she had the opportunity to have Kardamuni as her husband, she also desired to have a child by bodily union. This is and this is their natural tendency because they want to get. They have the content, my dear Lord. I am struck by excited emotions for you. Therefore, kindly make what arrangements must be made in according to the scripture, so that my skinny body, emaciated throughout unsatisfied passion, may be rendered fit for you. Also, my Lord, please think of a suitable house for this purpose. She already gave the requirements for what should happen. If you are staying in top of Himalayas, the air itself is like that. You don't feel any passion only. So you have to come down to have all this passionate. Vedic literature are not only full of spiritual instructions but are also instructive in how to prosecute material existence very nicely. Persecute, that is the point. Like, it is not just spiritual, it is also telling how to be happy in this world with the ultimate aim of spiritual perfection. Devati asked her husband, therefore, how to prepare herself for sex life according to Vedic instructions. Sex life is especially meant for having good children. The circumstances for creating good children are mentioned in Kama Sutra, Kama Shastra, sir. The scriptures in which uh, suitable arrangements are prescribed for actually glorious sex life. Everything needed is mentioned in the Shastra. What sort of house and decoration there should be, what sort of dress the wife should have, and how she should decorate with ornaments, scents, and other attractive. With these requisites fulfilled, the husband will be attracted by her beauty and a favorable mental situation will be created. Now, no need of all this. Everything is happening, you know, even in public places also. The mental situation at the time of sex life may then be transferred into the womb of the wife. If the situation is not created like this, and anywhere and everywhere, which cannot be mentioned also, then the cats and dogs are born. Here is a special reference of Devati's bodily features. Because she had become skinny, her features and body may not be attractive to Kadaman. She wanted to be instructed how to improve her bodily condition in order to attract her husband. Sexual intercourse in which husband is attracted to wife is sure to produce a male child. By sexual intercourse based on the attraction of wife for the husband may produce a girl. This is mentioned in Ayurveda. When the passion of women is greater, then there is a chance of girls being born. When the passion of men is greater, then there is a possibility of son. Devati wanted the passion of her husband to be increased by the arrangement of, as mentioned in the Kama Shastra. She wanted him to instruct her in that way, and she also requested that he arranged for a suitable house because the hermitage in which Kardamani was living was very simple and completely in a mode of goodness. There are less possibility of passion being aroused in their heart. That is the point. If you have so much goodness, it is not possible. Maitreya Udra seeking to please his beloved wife, the sage Kardamuni exercised his yogic powers and instantly produced an aerial mansion that could travel at his will. Here the word yogam astitam are significant. The sage Kardamuni was complete perfect in yoga. As the result of real yoga practice, there are 8 kinds of perfection. The yogi can become smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest, or lighter than the lightest. He can achieve anything he likes, he can create any planet, he can establish any influence over anyone. In this way, you give perfection. So, Kardamani just can create, just by chanting mantra, you can create. Because creation anyway happens with sound. Anavriti Shabdat. With sound we can come out, with sound we get entangled. It was wonderful structure, bedaubed with all sorts of jewels, adorned with pillars of precious stones, and capable of yielding whatever one desires. It was equipped with every form of fortune and wealth that tends to increase in the course of time. So interesting, like even if they want to enjoy, they're enjoying the best. The Devati is going to get everything best. The husband is best, fathers are best, and her enjoyment is best. Son is also best. Can you imagine what a fortunate lady Devati must be? Is one of the most special personalities of the creations. She had everything best. Husband, father. Father is Mahajan. Kardamuni is such a great personality. Lord himself came. Lord only recommended the marriage for Kardamuni. And the son is Supreme Lord herself. What else she need? So here the castle created by in the sky by Kardamuni may be called a castle in the air. But by his mystic power of yoga, Kardamuni actually constructed a huge castle in the air. To our feeble imagination, a castle in the sky is an impossible. But if we scrutinizingly consider the matter, we can understand that it is not impossible at all. If Supreme Lord can create so many planets carrying millions of castles in the air, a perfect yogi like Kardamuni can easily construct. So that is, the system is available. If you want to make anything, what scientists they do, no? They are also trying to make a spaceship. If you have heard or read somewhere, there is some spaceship. Now also some astronauts are there doing some research and going and coming. Now why they go? They make a spaceship and then they fly. The way the scientists are doing, it's a mechanical way. But the yogis they do in a much subtle way. They just chant the mantra, you can create. The castle is described as Sarva Kama Dugam, yielding whatever one desires. Even it was full of jewels. Even the pillars were made of pearls and valuable stones. These valuable gems and stones were not suitable for, not subjected to destruction. That means time don't have much influence on, but were everlastingly and increasingly opulent. We sometimes hear of castles thus bedaubed on the surface of its this earth also. The castles constructed by Lord Krishna, they are also huge, 16,138. The castle was fully equipped with all necessary paraphernalia. It was pleasing in all senses, so all seasons. It was decorated all around with flags, festoons, and illustrative work of variegated colors. There is no kingdom. He only created his own kingdom. It was further embellished with wreaths of charming flowers, and that attracted sweetly humming bees, and with uh, tapestries of linen, silk, and various other fabrics. The place looking charming with bees, with beds, coaches, fans, seats, all separately arranged in 7 stories. He made a 7 storied mansion, that too in the sky. It is understood from this verse that the castle had many stories. The word Upari Vinyasta indicate that skyscrapers are not newly invented. Even in those days, millions of years ago, the idea of buildings many stories houses were current. They contained not merely 1 or 2 rooms, but many different apartments, and each was completely decorated with cushions, bed sheets, sitting places, and carpets. It's beautiful and enhanced by artistic engravings here and there on the walls. The floor was of emerald with coral dias. At the present moment, people are very proud of their architectural art. Yet floors are generally decorated with colored cement. It appears, however, the castles constructed by the yogic powers of Kardamuni had floors emerald with coral dias. The palace was very beautiful with its coral thresholds at the entrance, and its doors bedaubed with diamonds, golds, pinnacles, crowned its dome of sapphires. All these great descriptions are there. With the choosest ruby set in its diamond wall, it appears as though possessed of eyes. It was furnished with wonderful canopies and greatly valuable gates of gold. Prabhupada artistic jewelry and decorations give the appearance of eyes are not imaginary. Even in recent times, the Mughal emperor constructed their palaces with decorations of jewel birds with eyes made of valuable stones. The stones have been taken away by the authorities, but the decorations are still present in some of the castles constructed by Mughal empires in Delhi. The royal palaces were built with jewels and rare stones resembling eyes, and thus at night they would give off reflective light without need of lamps. That is how it is. Here there are Here in this palace were multitudes of live swans and pigeons, as well as artificial swans and pigeons. So lifelike that the real swans rose above them again and again, thinking them real birds like themselves. Thus the palace vibrated with sounds of these birds. Even the imagination is also going beyond. The castle has pleasure grounds, resting chambers, bedrooms, inner and outer yards designed with an eye to comfort. All this caused astonishment to the sage himself. He made it, but he is also astonished. Devati whole the childhood she lived in the palace. She did austerities with Kardamuni. Again, he created a palace. Kardamuni was a saintly person, was living in a humble hermitage. But when he saw the palace constructed by his mystic powers, he was full of which are full of resting rooms, rooms for sex enjoyment, and inner and outer yards. He himself was astonished. That is the way of God gifted person. A devotee like Kardamuni exhibited such opulence by his yogic power at the request of his wife, but when the opulence was produced, he himself could not understand how such magnificent could be possible. When a yogi power is exhibited, yogi himself is sometimes astonished. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you all very much.